Now, don't you think, though, that a theme in the Bible would be what happened with Adam and Eve in Eden? Right. Wouldn't the prophets remind you of that particular story? And maybe even add information to it, right? Like Ezekiel does, or Isaiah does, or, right, calling him Halel. Mm-hmm. Or who was Halel? You might wonder, right? Or is that Satan's true name, right? In the Hebrew. Now, he's called in Job Ha-Satan, right? But Job also speaks of this rebel angel tempting Job, right? Without Job being aware he's doing so. And he's in the court of the Beni Elohim in their first estate when he's introduced in the story of Job, right? And the point of Job is how God can also, because of Ha-Satan, right, sometime allow people to go through what's called temptation, right? Now, if you're in a temptation, depending on what it is, if people are involved with it or not, too, right, sometimes it can be what's called entrapment. Now, but if I tell you don't eat of this tree's fruit, and you eat of it anyway, human beings also have fruit of their body, like a tree, but unlike a tree, we have sex to reproduce, right? Could that be what God means, right? The fruit of the body of Satan himself in human form was the body we weren't, or fruit or tree we weren't supposed to eat of, right? Now, how do I get that? Well, not only does Jesus compare us to tares and wheat, right? He also compares us to trees, right? In the field, and that are hewn and cut down, and every tree that bears forth not good fruit is cut down and cast into the fire, right? Every good tree is, of course, brought into heaven with him, right? By the way, don't forget that one now, right? Even though he didn't say that verbatim, right? You do know that the good trees aren't cut down and cast into hell, right? Right. It's only the bad trees in the end that are cast in the fire, right? Now, we know also all trees can burn here on our planet, right? So don't, again, understand that. Right? Fire is a real thing here, right? So if you start a fire, what's going to happen? It's going to burn. It's going to burn till it runs out of fuel, right? Now, God's not telling you start a fire, idiot, right? Like Billy Joel says, we didn't start the fire. It was all exploded since the world was started. Now, that's the quoting, right? And impersonating, right? In his song, We Didn't Start the Fire, I think that's what it's called. Right? But again, right, some people don't understand copyright fair use, including those in the music business today. How we can do that under fair use. So no. Now, most music teachers will teach their students how to sing, as my third grade teacher did, a copyrighted song as he did with Elton John, right? He taught us Elton John songs in the third grade. Why do you think I started doing impersonations in the first place, and when do you think I started doing it? The third grade. No, third grade. My mom can attest to that. And anyway, I was one of those guys who would be on stage doing impersonation. And I need feeling on time. This is one of my first impersonations. Does that work? Do I look Hispanic enough, or right? Like that would be something I could do as an actor, or right, maybe. But there again, I'm a disabled veteran, also stuck in Georgia, telling you his story from Georgia, and you're freaking out over it like it's a still for quit or something, right? Like we weren't raised on the same planet, right? Yes, we were. Yes, we were. Like I don't have above a high school education, right? And then you're lying. And then you're lying. If you say stupid stuff like I don't have an education when I do, you're lying. You're lying. I joined the Navy at 20, right? Went overseas twice, so I'm sure I have two kinds of education. One is called book learning, the other is called living your life, right? Type education, right? And I have both, and you have both. I also dated from 21, right? So far, to 38 at least. And I had two weird encounters in the last 4 years, right? I know. That probably one of them shouldn't have happened, and the other one was more closer to consensual, but still something weird happened, right? And again, right. I can't really say what happened, but something happened, but maybe again, right? There was pressure there, unduly coerced from the person, right? But I saw clearly it was a female, not a trans female, right? Or a trans male, right? Clearly. Nor was the human named Michelle, right? Telling me she was 15 but 37, right? So we have a problem. That could be entrapment, right? If you're trying to work an underage girl without a work permit, right? She still needs a work permit from her school. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. She's under 16, right? All 16-year-olds in blue. No. Anyone below 16 needs a work permit from their school, which she should have been going to school in November again, right? If 15, even from New Jersey, right, and moved to Georgia, needs our work permit, right? Even if you're doing what? Trying to work her for free. You can't work for free, right? You can't say, oh, I'm putting her in an apprenticeship or get an internship, but I'm not paying her. You can't do that either. That don't excuse you for breaking that law. No, it don't. She still needs a work permit. What you're doing there is you know you messed up. You know the girl messed up. You know I messed up, but you're trying to make it all my fault, right? It's not all my fault. No, you're at fault too for working her and trying to find a loophole, right? That's what you're doing. And the girl from the start told me her name, age, where she was from, and that she was a college student. So she's flat out lying. And at least two of the pieces of information she gave me. I know. And she can't lie to me. And, she's lying if that's the first time I met her, which it was. And I keep maintaining this, right? I didn't know her real age, right? I have to know she's 15, right? Or the girl you meant, though you were talking about it, right? You didn't give me enough information to actually prevent it, right? See. And then you're trying to create a loophole yourself, right? By saying, oh, well, he was working her as an apprentice or an intern. No, he can't do that, right? She needs a work permit, period, to work at all, even if you're training her to be a nail tech, right? And like I said, she really has to be 16 before she can start doing that. And supposed to have a GED at least, and working towards her certification once she turns 16, right? Not until then. Right? She can't work before that, right? No one can. Without a work permit, right? Not even in a training capacity. Not even a training or apprentice or internship capacity yet. She has to be 16 to start that process, right? In most states, unless you're in New Jersey, then it's 17. Then it's 17. That's what I do remember with my encounter with this young lady, right? Now, if she was 15, she lied about her age straight up and right off the bat, right? Because that's the first thing I remember in our interactions when I went there to do my nails, right? And she's in the Orchid Nail Salon, which you can see is in Pooler, Georgia, near the Royal Cinema Theater, right? Though they banned me from the damn store for some reason, but I don't know why. Why else would it be but sex? And then she tricked me into sex. But I forgive her and I'm trying to move on, right? I forgive the whole situation. Even the person working her that day, even if it was her own father, right? Which he's jumping the gun. He's rushing her into the workforce, right? He's supposed to wait another year. With that particular job, yes, he is. There are certain jobs you can't even start training in until you're 18 and older. You can be a bartender at 18, but you still can't drink till you're 21, right? You can work as a bartender, though, at 18, right? And then you're trained to be a bartender. Then you're training to be a bartender. But you can't even start training until you're 18, right? You understand, idiot, what you did? Now stop playing dumb. Get a brain. Realize I wasn't trying to hump anybody. Right. And just looking for a girlfriend. Which she would work that way too by now, but no. Even if she was 15, right? But she can't convict me of a crime if she's breaking the law herself. Really. And I don't quite remember all the details of what happened, just the first initial part of the nail job, right? I didn't even realize I had lost time until I went to try and see my movie, which I missed by an hour, right? Told you that before too, right? Well, if you go in a little after 2 and you get out a little before 4, that's almost 2 hours, fool, right? In and of itself. That's a long time to be in a nail salon and not know or remember the full details, right? You can't do that either. And only head trauma has been known to cause me temporary amnesia before this, right? Perhaps even with my watch I broke when I was around Teresa, which only Teresa was the witness there, so whoever did something to me to fix the watch, right? When I was trying to fix the watch myself and couldn't, right? And then suddenly it's fixed, right? That was less than a few minutes interaction, or however long it took them to fix the watch, which obviously if the watch was fixed, right, didn't take them long at all. But there again, I was having problems getting it in the pin into the hole on the sleeve of the watch, right? Or its band, right? See, the watch has a band on it that wraps around your wrist, right? Well, the wristband had broken off the watch, and I was trying to repair it, right? With a knife, right? And get the knife to push the pin in to go into the hole on the watch, right? Well, the watch was giving me a hard time with the pen, right? Then the next minute I know, the watch and pen are together, and I showed you that too on YouTube. Then I took that video down, right? Though again, I more told you the story, right? There too. Though that too was between Shane One Lucky and my current channels now. That was between 2011 to 2013. And there I blacked out in my own apartment, but me and Teresa were sitting during the day with the door open kind of too, right? When I was trying to fix the watch, right? So I don't know who fixed it for me, but Tiki, but why'd you black me out as well? And I was only out a few minutes, though. But then the watch was repaired, right? And I asked Teresa, did you see someone come in and fix my watch, right? And she had to, no, so they also could have threatened her with violence, right? She said something. Now, obviously, I'm not afraid of them, but she was.